Yeah. Okay, so from now on it's being recorded. Okay, guys, so welcome, welcome, welcome. We have quite a lot of people here. Welcome, everybody. And today we have with us Hetal. She's going to enlighten us on a very, very interesting subject of using the enemas. But before that, we will start with the guided meditation. And even before that, I would like to tell you that this gathering has been organized for the members of the weekly fasting group. And this is a WhatsApp group of people from all over the world. And we cultivate the habit of fasting for 24, some people do a little bit more hours every week, week after week after week on a constant basis. So if you are watching this video and this idea appeals to you and you are not yet the member of the group, you will find my contact details. My name is Arik. I am the manager of this group. And you just need to send a WhatsApp message to this number, and I will really, really happily add you there, because this is a really life-changing habit of fasting at least 24 hours every single week. Okay, guys, so let's proceed to our main subject, which is proper usage of enemas. So, Hetal, please enlighten us on this important subject.
Yes, today we will be talking about cologne flushing. And cologne flushing is not something new. It has been traditionally used in lot of different cultures. It's been used in the Egyptian culture, the Persian culture, Indian culture. It's used in Ayurveda. It's used in naturopathy. So today I'll be talking about all the different enemas, Ayurvedic enemas, naturopathy enemas, and the normal enemas which we do. So be prepared.
Okay, we
Not to
are.
you. Yeah. First, I'll be talking about how do the enemas cure us? What does it eliminate in our body? How can we clear it? The advantages and disadvantages. Then I'll be talking about different enemas. So enemas can cure colitis and its various variations like ulcerative colitis, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, constipation, colon cancer, stomach issues. Constipation is the main cause of 80% of the diseases. So constipation can cause colon cancer, herpes, kidney diseases, and many other diseases. And I know with my experience, because I never had diarrhea problem, but I always had constipation problem. And that is because it also comes with emotional problems like fear. I too had a lot of fear, or still have. But if the fear is stored in the stomach, then it gives rise to constipation. So many people in India, that is why they eat curd and sugar before doing some important work, before doing some auspicious things, or also before giving exams, so that that anxiety which comes in the stomach cools down, is calmed down. And that is why stomach is the most important part of our body, is the second brain. Sorry, I just have to translate it from German to English. So it also cures backaches, candida, yeast infections, headaches, hemorrhoids, weight issues, skin problems, fatigue. It helps in mood improvement and anxiety problems. Enemas eliminate bacteria, toxins, excess fatty acids from intestines, restores stomach's natural flora. Enemas help to balance the hormones, control appetite, regulate sleep, and improve mental processing. And for me, according to my experience, I have seen that after long dry fast and doing dry fast for 3 to 5 years and being um, on this lifestyle of being raw food lifestyle or raw vegan lifestyle, I have seen that if you take enemas regularly, You don't need any food or any water, which I am experiencing now. So enemas help to balance the hormones, control appetite, regulate sleep, and improve mental processing. Enemas can clear your skin, improve your concentration and circulation. If the colon is not clear, the liver, the gallbladder, the spleen, the kidneys, and other organs like the skin will start holding toxins, which normally the toxins should have been disposed of into the large intestine or the colon. Also, the body is unable to absorb vital nutrients through our intestines when it is holding toxins. This is because it has hardened waste matter adhering to it. More stress is placed on the entire body when the colon is not functioning properly. So, most of the problems start from the colon. Now, the side effects of enemas, it damages the intestinal flora, especially if it is used too frequently. Cramps and scalding in the intestines take place if if it is wrong water temperature. For example, it's too hot or it's too cold. The appropriate temperature is warm or at body temperature. Injuries to the intestinal wall or the anus can happen if it's improper use, if the tube doesn't go in properly. Normally it doesn't happen, but it's only in rare cases. Infections, consequences of injuries, or if the tube is not cleaned properly or the water is not filtered properly. So it's very important to filter the water and only use filtered water. Irritation of the intestinal mucus can also happen. Too high acidity of the rinsing liquid. Allergic shock in response to specific additives in the rinsing liquid. Bloated stomach or abdominal pain. Water retention if it's not done properly. Nausea, diarrhea, circulatory problems like high blood pressure, low blood pressure, dehydration due to loss of fluid that can lead to dehydration. Enema should be avoided in high blood pressure, kidney problems or kidney disease, hemorrhoids, pregnancy, heart disease. Enema should not be given to kids, old people, acute abdominal diseases, several bowel diseases, congenital malfunctions in the colon, bleeding in the gastrointestinal tract. Kids can be given enema, and especially very small kids too, but through bulb syringes and only oil enemas in a very small portion, so that if they have constipation, the bowels are cleaned up. Now, the two main types of enemas are the cleansing enemas and the retention enemas. There are also nourishing enemas, but they are part of the retention enemas. So what do the cleansing enemas do? Cleansing enemas stimulate the bowels to expel the fecal matter. The retention enemas, they stimulate the bowels, but they also retain it for some time. And the nourishing enemas, they stimulate the bowels to retain and nourish the intestine. 70% of body's immunity is in the colon. So why not take laxatives, and why this rectal cleansing? Laxatives are irritants and damage the receptor cells and may lead to a sluggish bowel and less ability to eliminate waste on your own. And the most important thing about laxatives are it makes you dependent after some time. That's why whether it's Ayurvedic laxatives or other medical laxatives, it is said that after a certain time you should stop it and you should take it only when it is needed. The same is for enemas too. Normally, a colon reabsorbs water 8 to 10 times every 30 minutes. This is how your body hydrates itself. Now, I will be talking about Ayurvedic enemas. Medications given by enema primarily treat the vata dosha. Vata is air in the body, the air circulation in the body, the prana in the body. When vata is disturbed, the whole body is disturbed while all the three doshas are disturbed. It is the main factor in the manifestation of diseases. Vata is the force behind the elimination and retention of feces, urine, bile, and other excreta. Vata is mainly located in the large intestine. The colon membrane is related to the membrane of the bone tissues. The bones are important sites of Vata dosha. So medications given rectally affect all the tissues up to the bone tissue. It also nourishes the skin, the hair, and the nails. Make sure that the environment is warm, comfortable, and clean when you do the enema. So now I'll be talking about oil enemas. The first one is sesame oil enema, which is very common. Basic sesame oil is always used as a base in Ayurvedic treatments and also in Panchakarma. So oil enemas are given in Ayurveda during the time of Panchakarma. Panchakarma is the whole body cleansing. So 5 ounces of warm sesame oil is taken. I'll not go into the details of it because we'll be covering in one or the other sections. So the benefits of sesame oil are lightness in the abdomen, general clarity. It is good for constipation, slip disc, gout, rheumatism, sciatica, arthritis, insomnia, hernia, tinnitus, nervous disorders like anxiety, distension and gas, depletion of tissues. So now what you can do here is, all enemas are not needed, but everybody has a specific problem or needs a specific area to be cleaned. So you can listen to everything and just note down the enemas that are relevant for your problem. The precautions of sesame oil enema are that it shouldn't be given in pregnancy, during menstruation, while it's too much heat for the body, during diarrhea, or during weakness. Here, it is important that the stomach should be empty. Wait for at least 3 hours after eating. And sesame oil enema is given to the person who is prone to become cold. So a person with Vata too. Oil or medicated ghee enemas are given because they are very nourishing enemas. And they are given in disturbances that do not involve toxins, as oil or ghee can drive the toxins deeper into the tissues. So normally, when ghee enema is given, it is always bitter ghee. There are herbs added to it. And this enema is given to enhance the ojas. So what is ojas? Ojas is the vigor and energy in your body. It is cooling. The ghee enema is cooling and helps to increase this vigor and energy in the whole body. It's mostly given to very weak people, very thin people for fast recovery. Then there is this almond oil enema, and it is given to people prone to becoming hot because they have this more fire element in them, pitta, which we experience during dry fasting. So after dry fasting, if you want to nourish your body, so almond oil enema is also good. Ghee, grit ghee it is called, that is bitter ghee, which you can buy online. That ghee enema is also very good for cooling the body and nourishing the body. So, and after the oil enemas, beware that these post enemas, leaking in the oil enemas can also happen. Now we'll be going into castor oil enema, which is very, very spoken about in dry fasting and also in Indian culture. Castor enema is used for inducing labor, for enhancing beauty of our hair and skin. It increases the movement of the intestines. The ricinoleic acid, that is the fatty acid in the castor oil, binds the muscle cells of the on the walls of the intestine and cause contraction. So depending on your age, your history of diseases, 500 to 1500 milliliter, that is half a liter to 1.5 liter of enema is to be taken. I would recommend that in the beginning, try only with 500 ml. Or if you have a tendency for diarrheas, then start only with 40 to 60 ml. Syringes work best for oil enemas. There are two types of syringes, the normal syringe, the standard one, and the bulb syringe. Mostly they use the bulb syringe for oil enemas. Oil enema should be done. Now, castor oil enema has to be done on a full stomach. It is generally done in the afternoon after lunch. 60 to 90 ml of castor oil is enough. Warm the oil till it is lukewarm. This increases its absorption in the colon. Make sure to push in the nozzle about 3 inches inside so that no air goes into the rectum with the oil. Retain the oil for as long as possible. When I was in Ayurveda clinic in Kerala, I was told to lie down in the same position for 2 hours. But you can start with minimum 30 minutes and then as long as you can. Then you have to tell someone to cover you with blanket so that you are warm enough after taking the oil enema, and don't move for that time. So what we were suggested to do is, you cannot lie down for 2 hours in one position. So we used to lie down in such a way that we could then watch the TV. So we were distracted and we wouldn't move for 2 hours. So what are the benefits of castor oil enema? It controls the bloating due to the gas, rids from distension, useful to treat arthritis and rheumatism, cure for hyperacidity. Somebody was asking for hyperacidity. So here you can now use castor oil enema. Alleviates back pain, controls vata, helpful in curing sexual diseases. The precautions to be taken are to not do this enema if you're suffering from cold, flu, diabetes, diarrhea, obesity, or consumption of any poison. It's also used in Garrison therapy for treating cancer patients and in Panchakarma treatment in Ayurveda. So these were about oil enemas. Now I'll be talking about Ayurvedic herbal decoction enemas. You can buy all these herbal powders or herbal leaves online. So whatever I'll be saying, it's not totally new. You can buy it online from any Ayurvedic shop. Dashamula tea. Dashamula means 10 Ayurvedic herbs are mixed together. So this tea is blended with guduchi and is given for pitta imbalances. Punarnava with Dashamula enema is given for kapha imbalances. And Dashamula decoction enema is given for vata imbalances. Vidanga decoction enema is given for parasite issues and yeast issues. So this is how, if you have vata imbalance, pitta imbalance, or kapha imbalance, then how you can use the various herbs or parasite problems. The proportion is 1 teaspoon of powder in 1 liter of water. Boil the water, then put this powder, let it simmer for 20 minutes, cool down till it's lukewarm, and then you can use the enema. So Ayurvedic name for enema is basti. So bastis or enemas normally should be performed 2 to 3 days consistently and then once a week for 4 weeks. If the imbalance remains, wait for 5 to 7 days and repeat as long as the toxins have been cleared and the imbalance has been healed. In case of chronic disorder, you will need to perform the enema multiple times a day, maybe 2 times a day or 3 times a day. I would not go for 4 times a day, but 2 to 3 times a day can be done if you are on a liquid diet. And then it can be prolonged over a period of time in order to get the adequate results. Now, when you prolong it over a period of time, in between, please take breaks so as to not weaken the colon over time. You can take a break of 3 days. You can take a break of 5 days. It is upon how long you are doing. Because Ayurveda and naturopathy says to cure a chronic problem, you can take enemas up to 42 days. So in between that, you can take 5 to 7 days of gap. Now, this was about Ayurvedic enemas. Now, naturopathy also has their enemas. Nature cure is important to maintain a balance between the mind, body, and nature. And overeating is an universal crime against society and sin against your own body, which we keep on doing. This was said by Gandhiji. So nature cure treatments done in respective, they are done in the respective order. First, enema is done. And before doing the enema also, first they do sun bath, then they do enema. And after the enema, it's only a warm water enema. Then if you have a chronic problem, they may do a saline and water enema or neem effusion enema or a vegetable oil enema. But that is only in individual cases with chronic problems. Otherwise, only normal warm water enema is done. And after enema, it does not stop there. After the enema is done and you are clean, then they do mud therapy. And in this, so that the re-evacuation of the intestines is done, and now all the toxins are also sucked and pulled out from the body. This is done for 30 minutes. And after that, they do hydrotherapy, including heat bath and steam and full tub bath. Then neuropathy is done. That means massage is done with the feet or with the hands. It's like acupressure, or the meridian points are pressed so that from all the lymph also start working properly and they are also activated. Then a brisk walk is done for 1 hour. And then before sleeping, a prayer or a meditation with bhajans is done for half an hour, and a foot bath is done before sleeping. So in all naturopathy centers, this is the daily routine what they do. So enema is not done just only enema, but the whole process with different detoxification processes. So now we go, what is the difference between colonics and enemas? Enemas are and colonics, both methods are used for colon cleansing with water. But colonics clean the whole large intestine, while enema cleans only the lower colon. This is because colonics infuse 30 to 40 liters of water over a period of 45 minutes to 1 hour, while enemas involve a one-time infusion of maximum 2 liters of water. So I would recommend that maybe once a week, once in 15 days, or once a month, how toxic you are or how do you feel mentally, you can go for colonics. And for individual problems like I have parasites, or I have candida problem, or I have back problem, or I want to detox my liver or my kidney, then you go for small individual enemas. How is normally an enema done? Water used for enema should be 36.5 to 37.5 degrees centigrade body temperature. Before giving enema, all the air should be removed from the catheter and Vaseline or thick cream or oil should be applied. While taking enema, you should lie down on your left side and bend the right knee upwards. So this is how a normal enema is taken. And in this Same way, all other enemas are also taken. Remember to use only filtered water, very, very important. Chlorine-free water, that's very important. And the measurements are by quarts and liter, there is not a big difference. 1 quart is 946 milliliter and 1 liter is 1000 milliliter. So we start with the first enema, that is the apple cider vinegar enema. It clears the bowels very quickly and has an antiviral healing effect on your digestive system. This is apple cider vinegar enema. The second enema is acidophilus enema. Acidophilus enema is to repair the gut flora. It's a simple enema and it will give a gentle cleansing of the colon and also replenish the beneficial bacteria. When the live culture is administered directly into the colon, there is a better chance for survival and propagation of the beneficial bacteria than when it is taken orally. That is why this prebiotic or probiotic bacteria enema is taken. A yogurt or acidophilus enema is very helpful for those suffering for irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel diseases, constipation, hemorrhoids, and colon cancer. Because regular enema usage can deplete the population of beneficial bacteria in the colon, if you take regular enemas, it is a good idea to use an acidophilus enema from time to time. Recipe: 4 tablespoons of probiotic yogurt or 4 to 5 capsules dry acidophilus. Break open the capsules, or 1 teaspoon of powder acidophilus, 2 liters of warm filtered water. Stir the yogurt or acidophilus into the water. Administer and retain the enema for minimum of 10 minutes to allow the beneficial bacteria deeper into the intestine. Now your favorite coffee enema, which I did once and I couldn't do it again. It didn't suit me because I'm sensitive to caffeine. It's a retention enema for detox. The palmitates in coffee, caviol and cafestol, enhance the action of glutathione S-transferase, a family of enzymes which play an important role in the body's detoxification process. Coffee administered via enema does not go through the digestive system and will not affect the body the same way as your drinking coffee does. When coffee is administered rectally, the hepatic portal veins carry the caffeine directly to the liver. Coffee contains caffeine, theobromine, and theophylline, substances which cause a dilation of the blood vessels and encourage the flow of bile. Bile is the means through which the liver eliminates stored toxins. Usually bile, including the toxic bile, is reabsorbed 8 to 10 times by the intestinal walls before it is eliminated by the stool. By taking a coffee enema, which also flushes the contents of the colon, one can ensure the elimination of the toxic bile from the system. Then the recipe: 3 tablespoons of organic coffee, 1 liter filtered water. Add the coffee to the water and boil for 3 minutes, then reduce the heat and simmer for 15 minutes. Cool the mixture to the appropriate temperature, filter and administer. Retain the enema for 12 to 15 minutes. The cautions and considerations in coffee enema are: 1, to ensure that the most thorough cleansing, perform another enema 4 to 6 hours later. This will remove more of the bile that was released into the small intestine, as there may be some left over which was not eliminated in the first enema. The coffee administered via enema goes directly to the liver, and so do any chemicals that were used in the cultivation of that coffee. To lessen the toxic load, use only organically grown coffee in your enema. Although the coffee administered via the enema is not absorbed in the same way as one drinks it, it is not advisable to administer a coffee enema in the evening because of the side effects it experiences. And those with sensitivity to caffeine should not take a coffee enema. Do not use coffee enemas for more than 4 to 6 weeks. Regular usage of coffee enemas can deplete the body's store of iron as well as other minerals and vitamins. Third enema is Epsom salt enema. It's also called the magnesium sulfate enema. Epsom salts are commonly used in baths for relief of muscle aches and pains, but are then taken internally for relief from constipation. The high concentration of magnesium in Epsom salts cause a relaxation of the smooth muscles of the intestinal tract and promotes elimination of the colon's contents. When I used to do one time a mono fruit juice fast, and I used to do 1.5 hours, sometimes 2 hours or 3 hours vigorous weight training, and 2 times a day walking. What was happening was all the toxins were being stored in my legs, and I didn't know how to remove those. At that time, I never did enema. I should have done colonics or enemas regularly, which I didn't do. I thought, I am taking mono juice diet. I am doing intermittent fasting for 23 hours, and that is more than enough. It will burn off everything. But if I had done enemas, I would be in a much better position because I had severe leg pains, and I used to go to a physiotherapist regularly, and due to this accumulation of the toxins, my calf muscles had become so hard, and the tissues had become so hard that it had become like big hard balls in my legs. And that was because of the tensions created due to the toxins in the accumulation of the toxins in the body. So at such times, when you have muscle aches and pains, and especially after walking in dry fasting or doing weight training or something like that, or physical exercise, Epsom salt can be a good option. Using Epsom salt in an enema is a faster and safer way to achieve effects than when taking the salts orally. An Epsom salt solution will increase the amount of water in the intestine because it draws water into the colon. This results in a more thorough cleansing of the intestinal tract. An Epsom salt enema is a good solution to use when suffering from stubborn constipation. Recipe: 4 tablespoons of Epsom salt, 2 liters of warm filtered water. Add Epsom salt to warm water and mix well until all salts are dissolved. Administer the solution and retain for a comfortable amount of time, say 10 to 15 minutes. Caution: do not administer an Epsom salt enema if you have stomach pain, nausea, or vomiting. Lemon juice enema. It's a cleansing enema, my favorite. Lemon juice is a good cleansing enema and helps to balance the pH levels in the colon. It is a relief from it relieves from the discomfort and pain associated with colitis, and it may be achieved by taking lemon juice enema once a week. When used on a weekly basis, lemon juice enema can provide relief. I always felt highly energetic after taking lemon juice enema. It gives release from chronic constipation. A lemon juice enema is more effective at cleansing the colon than a plain or saltwater enema, but generally not as comfortable to hold due to the nature of the lemon juice. Recipe: 2/3 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice, organic. That is the juice of about 3 lemons. 2 liters of warm filtered water. Squeeze the juice from the lemons, filter, and mix with 2 liters of warm water. Administer and retain for a comfortable length of time. A lemon juice solution is mildly irritating to the intestinal lining and may cause more cramping than other enema solutions. It does. If you have a sensitive tract, you may want to use less lemon juice in your first enema to see how you react before using the full strength of this recipe. And also over a period of time, your intestines will get used to it, and then it will not irritate more, or there will not be so much cramps. The cleaner the body, the lesser the cramps. Then there is also this milk and molasses enema. It's a cleansing and a nourishing enema. Milk and molasses enema is an efficient way of ridding the colon of excess fecal matter. This old school remedy was actually used in nursing until it was replaced by more convenient pre-made formulas. A milk and molasses enema may produce explosive results, but this will vary from person to person depending on the concentration of bacteria in the colon. The bacteria in the colon creates gas as they metabolize sugars present in the milk and molasses solution. This gas helps the enema to move further up the colon. Also, the high concentration of the sugars in this solution creates an osmotic gradient which draws water into the colon, increasing its cleansing potential. The evacuation produced from a milk and molasses enema will generally be large and thorough, but this also depends on the amount of matter in one's colon. It's effective because it is formulated to stimulate the peristaltis. For this reason, it may produce cramping. It is also quite difficult to retain for long periods of time because of the gas produced by the reaction happening between the milk, molasses, and the flora in the intestines. Since this is a very evacuative enema, you do not need much volume for it to be effective. You can use anywhere between 1 and 2 cups of each milk and molasses, but make sure that they are in equal proportion. 1 to 2 cups whole milk, the recipe, 1 to 2 cups of whole milk, 1 to 2 cups of black strap molasses. Warm the milk in a saucepan, bring it to a slight boil. Do not overheat the milk because you do not want it to curdle. Remove the pan from the heat and stir in the molasses until the milk and molasses are mixed thoroughly. Cool to the appropriate temperature and administer. Retain for as long as possible. Considerations. This enema is one of the messier enema solutions out there. So you have to take care of that. Secondly, the consistency of this enema is much thicker than a water enema. So in order for the solution to flow through the tube, you need to hang the enema bag much higher than you usually would do for a water-based enema. Administer this type of enema as fast as you can because this solution will cause cramping almost immediately. It will be difficult to hold your enema for a long duration. Try at least to take in the entire amount of solution before you run to the toilet for an evacuation. And there is salt and baking soda enema. Baking soda is a very alkaline substance. Using it internally can help neutralize the acids, and in the enema form, it is beneficial for people with conditions involving excess acidity. This enema can also help restore the acid-alkaline balance in times of illness. A salt and baking soda enema may be useful in people suffering from colitis as it helps to heal ulcers in the colon caused from excess acidity. Recipe: 2 teaspoons of pure Himalayan sea salt, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 2 liters of warm filtered water. Mix well until the salt and soda are dissolved. Administer and retain the enema for at least 10 minutes. Caution: use salt and soda enema in moderation. Regular use of baking soda enemas may lead to excess alkalinity. Salt water enemas. They are also cleansing enemas and retaining enemas. A salt water enemas is the most comfortable solution one can take. If you are doing enema for the first time, the salt water enema is the best choice. A saline solution has a neutral concentration gradient. It does not draw electrolytes from the body. which can happen with plain water enemas, and it does not draw water into the colon. Because the salt reduces the amount of water absorbed into the bloodstream, you will also experience less need for urination while holding this enema. Because a saltwater enema does not draw water in or out of the colon, it is also a good solution to use when a longer period of retention is desired. It can be retained for longer periods and can be very effective for softening old fecal impaction. Recipe: 2 teaspoons of pure sea salt, 2 liters of warm filtered water, mix well until all the salt is dissolved, administer and retain for as long as possible or up to 40 minutes. Now, there are these herbal enemas, which many people use. They are more than just cleaning the colon. Herbal enemas are very efficient way to achieve healing effects because the active substances in the herbs are absorbed by the intestinal walls and they go directly into the bloodstream. When herbs are taken orally, some of the active substances are altered, weakened, or destroyed by the gastric juices before they can be absorbed into the system. Once administered, hold the herbal enema for 15 to 45 minutes. The same rule goes also for the Ayurvedic herbal enemas, which we had discussed earlier. The longer you can hold it, the better, as this will allow for more absorption of the active substances. If you have not done a recent colon cleanse or enema, it is recommended to do a cleansing enema before administering a herbal enema to achieve the better effects. In this way, you will first clear out the majority of fecal matter before administering the herbal enema, and more of the herbal solution will be absorbed. You can use plain water or salt water for this cleaning enema. Also, please note that many of the herbal enemas that we have discussed or will be discussing are recommended for mild and chronic inflammations of the intestinal tract, but do avoid using enemas during active flare-ups of inflammatory bowel conditions. Most herbs are contraindicated during pregnancy and breastfeeding. So if you're pregnant, consult a health physician before administering a herbal enema. Remember to use only filtered water, chlorine-free water, and room temperature. So the first enema is aloe vera enema. It's a cooling and a nourishing and also a cleansing enema. Aloe vera is a very soothing and healing plant with strong anti-inflammatory properties. And aloe vera enema is good for those suffering with hemorrhoids, as it will help to stop any bleeding associated with hemorrhoids and aid in healing. And aloe vera enema will also promote healing of the intestinal tract and will be beneficial for those with irritable bowel or diverticulitis. Recipe: 1/3 or half cup of aloe vera juice, organic, 2 liters of warm filtered water. Combine the aloe vera juice and the water, mix well, check that the temperature is comfortable and administer. Retain for 15 to 45 minutes. Burdock enema. Burdock root is one of the best herbs for purifying the blood and correcting skin problems. A burdock enema aids in elimination of calcium deposits and is beneficial for improving the functions of the kidneys and the bladder. Recipe: 2 tablespoons of burdock root, 2 liters of warm filtered water. Add the burdock to the water in a pot and bring the mixture to a boil. Reduce the heat and simmer for 15 minutes. Remove from the heat and let cool to an appropriate temperature. Strain the solution and administer. Retain the solution for 15 to 45 minutes. Catnip enema. It's a calming enema. It's very calming when taken internally. Taken as an enema, it soothes and relaxes the intestinal tract, making it useful for those with stomach and digestive disorders. I think it is also good for nervous system problems, and anxiety problems. Catnip enemas ease pain and cramping in the colon, reduce intestinal gas, and help relieve constipation. Catnip enemas are also help to pull mucus from the colon. They are good to take in times of cold or flu, or also reduce fever quickly, and are safe to use in both adults and children. So I think that we can use this enema during dry fasting when, okay, you can't use it for dry fasting, but in water fasting, even when we have this hot flashes where sometimes it's very hot and sometimes it's very cold. If you are in a hot weather and it's very hot, then I think catnip enema is a good solution. It can help. Recipe: 2 tablespoons two tablespoons dried catnip leaves, 2 liters of filtered water. Bring water to a boil, remove from heat, add the catnip leaves, and let it steep for 15 minutes. Filter the tea, make sure it is a comfortable temperature, and administer. Retain for 15 to 45 minutes. Cat's claw enema is a healing enema. It's known for its immune boosting properties and its efficiency in healing intestinal ailments. When taken as an enema, cat's claw will cleanse the colon and aid the healing of bowel disease disorders such as Crohn's, colitis, diverticulitis, leaky gut syndrome, hemorrhoids. This enema can help in the reduction of intestinal parasites, and because of the immune boosting effects of the herb, they may also aid in restoring friendly bacteria in the colon. Recipe: 2 tablespoons of cat's claw powder, 2 liters filtered water. Bring the water to boil, remove from heat, add the cat's claw powder, and let it steep for 15 minutes. Filter the tea, make sure it is comfortable temperature, administer, retain for 15 to 45 minutes. This is very common tea that we drink mostly, chamomile tea. And so chamomile enema. It is a night enema for insomnia during dry fasting or during water fasting. Chamomile is a calming herb which promotes relaxation in the body when taken as a tea. A chamomile enema will calm the body as well as the digestive system. Chamomile enemas soothe an irritated intestinal tract and can reduce the intestinal cramps and spasms caused by gas or inflammation. Chamomile enemas may also help relieve hemorrhoids, nausea, and sleeplessness. Recipe: 2 tablespoons of loose chamomile. I do not advise chamomile tea bags or any tea bags for that matter, because the quality of the leaves is not that good as loose leaves. 2 liters of warm filtered water. Bring the water to a boil. Um, Remove from heat and add the chamomile. Let steep for 15 minutes, cool to an appropriate temperature, filter, administer, and retain for 15 to 45 minutes. Caution: those with an allergy to ragweed should avoid the use of chamomile. Chamomile is a gentle sedative and may cause drowsiness. Fenugreek enema. This can be done after salt enema. Fenugreek seeds are used internally for inflammatory conditions throughout the body. Fenugreek seeds are very common in India and are soaked and used or soaked and eaten early morning. And these seeds become mucilaginous when added to water. This mucilage helps to lubricate and protect the mucous membranes of the body. Because of their mucilaginous character, fenugreek seeds, when used in enemas, are very soothing in cases of inflammations located in the digestive tract. They also protect against the formation of ulcers in the intestinal tract and relieve pain from existing ulcers. Recipe: 2 tablespoons of fenugreek seeds, 2 liters of filtered water, warm. Soak the fenugreek seeds in water overnight. In the morning, boil the water with the seeds for 5 minutes. Remove from the heat and let cool to a comfortable temperature. Strain, administer, and retain for 15 to 45 minutes. Garlic enema. Garlic is a strong antibiotic, antifungal, and antiparasitic herb. Garlic enemas have been used traditionally to eliminate intestinal worms and other parasites. They are also becoming well known for reducing candida levels in the colon. A garlic enema can rid the colon of harmful bacteria, which causes diarrhea and other symptoms of irritated bowel, giving relief of symptoms in just a few hours. These enemas aid in the elimination of toxins and mucus from the colon and are also known for their effectiveness at reducing fever. Allicin is the substance which gives garlic its beneficial properties. Crushing the garlic is necessary to release the allicin in garlic. After crushing, let the garlic sit for 15 to 90 minutes before using to increase the amount of allicin being produced. Taking garlic through enema is more effective than eating garlic as it delivers the allicin directly into the colon. When garlic goes through the digestive system, it undergoes various chemical changes and most of the allicin has been broken down into other components by the time it reaches the intestines. Recipe: 3 garlic cloves, 2 liters of filtered water. Crush the garlic cloves and let it sit for 15 minutes. Add the garlic to the water and let the mixture sit for at least 2 hours or as long as overnight. This increases the amount of allicin in the solution. Strain the mixture and heat to an appropriate temperature. Administer and retain the enema for 15 to 45 minutes to achieve the most of its antibiotic effects. This enema can also be combined with an Epsom salt enema or a catnip enema. Cautions: if you have a high level of infection from candida or parasites, a garlic enema may provide a strong die-off reaction. So to lessen the severity of the die-off reaction, start with 1 clove of garlic in your enema solution and gradually make the solution stronger by adding 1 clove per day. Do not use more than 3 to 4 cloves of garlic in a single solution. Garlic is a natural antibiotic which may kill some of the good bacteria in your colon if used in enemas regularly. So to re-establish beneficial bacteria in your colon, you can either alternate a garlic enema with an acidophilus enema or supplement with oral probiotics and fermented foods. When using raw garlic in an enema, you may experience a warming sensation around the anus. This is normal. Stronger solutions may give a slightly burning sensation and irritate the soft tissues in the anal canal. If you have a known sensitivity, then start with a more diluted solution. Neem enema. It is an excellent antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, and antiseptic herb. This herb also detoxifies the blood and stimulates the immune system to fight off the infections. Neem enemas can reduce candida, parasites, and other infections of the colon. Neem enemas are also useful in the treatment of ulcerative colitis and skin condition. Recipe: 1 tablespoon neem leaf powder, organic, 2 liters filtered water. Boil the water, remove from the heat and add the neem powder. Steep for 15 minutes, filter, make sure the temperature is comfortable, administer and retain for 15 to 45 minutes. I know I've talked a lot. I think this is the last one. Slippery elm enema to nourish the body after a fast. Slippery elm is one of the best herbs to take for any problem in the gastrointestinal tract. It aids in the correction of both constipation and diarrhea. It also helps to heal hemorrhoids and inflammatory conditions of the bowel, such as Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Slippery elm is demulcent in nature, which means that it soothes and protects the mucous membrane of the body by forming a mucilage genus film, or coating over the mucous membranes. This coating property of slippery elm heals the intestinal walls, relieves mild pain, irritation, and inflammation. It protects the intestinal walls from excess acidity and the formation of ulcers. Using this enema is a great way to obtain its benefits. And it's not only good for healing and soothing, but it is also a rich source of nutrients. It's very good to take an enema when a person has trouble eating or keeping food down, because the vitamins and minerals and the amino acids in slippery elm will be absorbed through the bowel walls and help nourish the body. Slippery elm enema recipe: 2 tablespoons of slippery elm powder, 2 cups of filtered water, and 1.5 liters of warm filtered water. Boil 2 cups of water, remove from heat, add slippery elm powder, and let steep for 5 minutes. Blend the mixture and add it to the remaining 1.5 liters of water. Make sure the mixture is an appropriate temperature, administer and retain for 15 to 45 minutes. Do not get tempted to use more of the slippery elm powder in your mixture, because it absorbs a lot of water, and using too much water will cause the enema solution to be thick. Yarrow enema, this is the last one. It is good for cold, flu, and fever. It is good in times of corona time. It is very soothing and healing for the mucous membranes of the body. Therefore, yarrow enemas will aid in the reduction of abdominal cramps and inflammation in the intestinal tract. Yarrow enemas are useful in the treatment of hemorrhoids, diarrhea, and intestinal gas. It also allows to loosen and flush the excess mucus from the intestinal tract. Recipe: 2 tablespoons of dried yarrow, 2 liters of filtered water. Boil the water, remove from heat, add the yarrow. Let steep for 15 minutes, strain, cool to an appropriate temperature, and administer. Retain for 15 to 45 minutes. Caution: it contains lactone and salicylic acid, which in some people may cause allergic reactions such as nausea and headache. If you have a known allergy of aspirin, which has a high concentration of salicylic acid, avoid the use of yarrow. And this was about enemas.
Okay, Hetal. So thank you very much. It was really, really informative. I think that it's quite difficult to remember all this information, but then people will be able to watch this webinar and just take the information that is relevant for them. Yeah. Now, could you please reiterate what is the exact difference between cleansing and retaining enemas?
Cleansing enema cleanses and expels the fecal waste as fast as possible. So you cannot retain it for a longer period of time. Within 5 minutes, you will have this cramps and you will have to just go to the toilet and relieve it. But retaining enemas, you can keep it in your intestine for 10 minutes to 45 minutes. And when you keep it for a longer period of time, you can loosen up more fecal matter or more old stored toxins, and more toxic stuff can come out of the body.
Okay. So, for example, if we take Epsom salt enema, I guess it would be more cleansing because it's difficult to hold. It causes spasms, right?
Yeah.
And for example, retaining enemas, could you give an example of one of those that you mentioned?
Coffee enema.
Okay. Okay, so you can just retain it. I understand. Now we had a few questions. So question for Hetal. I rightly or wrongly only see enemas as beneficial if constipated or irregular bowel movements. Is there any other benefit if having 2 to 4 bowel movements a day on mainly raw foods? Can you do too many enemas that the body relies on them instead of natural bowel movements, like injecting steroids? Then the adrenals will no longer produce natural steroids as already present from external sources. So that's this question contains few questions in between.
Very true. You shouldn't do enema when you are perfectly all right. Enema should be done when you feel a blockage somewhere in the body, when you have pain, uh, when you have cramps, or when you have headaches, or any symptom when it crops up and you feel that you cannot cure it with just your food or your meditation, or your normal detox technique, then you can go for enema. Enemas are good also for cleansing the organs like the liver, the kidneys, the parasites, and the toxins from the colon. If you think that everything is clean, you don't need any enema. And enemas are also should be done only for that particular problem. And after that problem is healed or that imbalance is solved, you do not need to do enema again till another problem crops up and you need it.
Okay, and then the second part of the same question was, can you do too many enemas that the body relies on them instead of natural bowel movements?
Again, I answered that question that you do not need to do too many enemas. In one of the talks earlier, I have cleared that question that how long you should do the enemas for 2 to 3 days consequently, and then once a week, and then slowly once in 4 weeks, and the whole process continue it like that. If you have mild problem, it will be solved easily. If not, then take a gap of 5 to 7 days, then again go for the whole process. In chronic enemas, again you will have to you can go for multiple enemas per day, 2 to 3, not more, and again take a break if you have to continue it for a longer time.
Okay, very good. And then there was another question, but you actually related to that. How beneficial probiotic enema is? If so, what kind of probiotic we need to mix? So you were talking about acidophilus. Are there any other probiotics that we can be mixed in the enema?
I don't know. I have been taught only about yogurt and acidophilus.
Okay, okay, good. And then the last question for today, it was posted on the chat by Pamela, and she says, any recommendations for weight loss enema, like enemas and weight loss?
I think there I have talked about it. There is an enema for weight loss. Now exactly I don't know, but lime juice enema is also good, and saltwater enema is also good. So saltwater enema will cleanse the toxins, and lime juice will balance the pH of the body. And after that, you can also do an enema like acidophilus enema, so that now you retain your good bacteria. And when all these three are in perfect balance, then we will automatically lose weight.
Okay, okay. Hetal, and I also wanted to ask about oil enemas, because you inject really small quantities of oil. You mentioned between 60 and 90 milliliters.
Yeah.
So so is the main purpose of those animals to clean the colon, or they're more like balancing and nourishing? What is the main purpose of those?
Oil enemas are retaining and nourishing enemas. They go deep into the tissues and they nourish each and every part of the body. And they nourish the intestines because you retain it for a longer period of time, for 15 to 45 minutes. They nourish the intestine, and from the intestine to the bone tissues and to the whole body.
But can you count on those animals for eliminating old fecal masses, or you cannot really rely on those?
I would, yeah, you can do that. But the thing is that I have said earlier that the oil enemas have to be taken only when there are no toxins in the body. If there are already toxins in the body, and if the oil goes deeper into the tissues, then instead of cleaning the tissues, it will be more, the oil will become more toxic in the body. And we want to solve the problem.
Okay. Okay, and also I wanted to ask, there are people who do urine enemas. So have you
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about that, or do you have any experience with that?
Yeah, I don't do it. And if you do your own urine, it's good. But many people in India do also with cow's urine. I would not recommend to do it alone. If you're doing something like that, please go to a naturotherapist or a proper professional and then do the enema.
You mean with the cow's urine, but with your own urine, no problem, yeah?
No, there's no problem.
Okay, and what can it beneficial for if you do urine enema? What kind of benefits will it have?
Again, going through the whole cycle of toxins, and again the whole cycle, the body is now removed it, expelled it out, the toxin through the urine, and again it is taking it, it is recognizing it, and again it is throwing it outside. So it will be the same process what earlier it was. But I really don't know much about self urine, but Shivambu or self urine is also taken orally and in through the rectum. I know that, and I know that it is beneficial. But exactly what are the benefits, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, Hetal, so I think we will wrap it up for today. Thank you very much. I will, so if people who watch it have any more questions, then you can either post them below the video in the comment section, or you can just post them in the group. Because this webinar really had lots of very information in a very concise ways. I'm sure that the best usage of this webinar is just to listen to it and then to do research regarding the items that that are relevant for you. Like if there is any particular herb or anything that you guys want to research, just do your research. And of course, you can ask those questions here in the group or below the video. So thank you very much, Hetal. Will be, yeah.
One question. That is about cleansing and retention enemas. When should the cleansing enema be done, and after how much time should the retention enema be done? So after the cleansing enema, you can do after 3 to 4 hours a retention enema.
Okay, that's a very useful information. So now towards the end, just tell us please about different services that you provide. What kind of problems can people approach you with, and how is it done?
I'm a yoga and Ayurvedic therapist. So I give lots of yoga classes, different types of classes, and in all areas. Because I am a yoga therapist, so I also give individual yoga exercises for specific problems. And I'm also Ayurvedic therapist that, and a naturopathist. That means that I do a lot of colon cleansing, or I guide through a lot of colon cleansing and liver cleansing and kidney cleansing and Ayurvedic lifestyle.
Very good. So people who want to go through detox, who need some more guidance, even online, they can contact you, and then you will just guide them step by step, what to do. Maybe maybe even in terms of enemas, in terms of different cleansing processes, you can even
or
help
also
them, right?
meditations psychologically, like inner child, mirror work, and so on.
Amazing. Okay, Hetal, so thank you very much. We'll give your contact details below the video. We'll post them below the video. If any of our viewers want to contact Hetal, then of course you are welcome. And we hope to have you again in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.